Hello Stonebridge fans, my name is Emma and I am here this evening in the Stonebridge showroom here in Ontario, Canada. And I have the great pleasure this evening of interviewing a very talented young lady. Her name is Aria Summer. She is an upcoming musician as well as an actress, and she comes all the way from Nashville, Tennessee. And so this evening we thought it would be kind of fun to put together a little interview for you guys over Skype. And yeah, we just thought it would be a creative way to introduce Aria to the Stonebridge community, as well as get to know her a little bit better. So with that being said, welcome Aria.
Hey there, thank you so much. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited to have you here. I love this technology. This should be really, really fun.
Oh, it's awesome. I'm excited.
So what I have done is I have put together a couple questions for Aria, and I'm going to ask her them, and I'm really excited to see what she has to say. So let's get into it. All right. So first and foremost, I'd really love to get a little bit more of a background of your life. So talk to us about your story and just what kinds of things have led you to be where you are today. Talk about that.
All right, let's see. Okay. Musically, I have been singing since I can remember. I don't remember a time when I didn't sing. It was just something that I just did and that I loved and came natural to me since I came into the world. It's like talking. If I could talk, I would sing. You could sing.
Yep.
There's quite a few videos of me singing songs like Somewhere Over the Rainbow when I was, just 2 years old or 3 years old. And when I was 5, I learned Fallin' by Alicia Keys, and I learned songs like that and figured out that I could sing soulfully and bluesy, and I just loved it. It was exciting for me. I didn't want to do anything else. My parents, they kind of always surrounded me with great music, anything from Bob Marley to Led Zeppelin, Tori Amos, Fleetwood Mac, Dwight Yoakam, anything you could think. So I was constantly musically intrigued, and my dad was in a band. And I used to always watch them play in our garage and sit in on their jam sessions. And as a 2 or 3-year-old, however old, it wasn't Barbie's baby dolls I was really interested in. It was music and the sounds of singing and whatever I heard and picking up an instrument and strumming the strings. I remember my dad's best friend was like a really amazing guitar player, and he always had a guitar in his hand, and no matter where I saw him, and it was just so interesting to me. I didn't have the knowledge yet to be able to understand what it was he was doing or chords or things like that, but I knew that the sounds he made when he strummed the strings or played chords, that they kind of went along with what I would do with my voice whenever I sang with him. And whenever he would let me strum it, I was making music, and I wanted to really know how to do that. There came a year when my parents bought me this, kind of like a toy keyboard.
Yeah.
And I sat down at it, and I swear, from the minute I walked out of my room, I was never off of that thing.
Oh, wow.
I fell in love. They could not pull me off of it. And even when I was playing horrible, awful sounds, I knew what I was making. I knew how to shape a chord and move around, and I was playing. It was fun for me just to, move around and play anything.
So how old were you when you got that keyboard?
I was probably about 3.
Okay, wow.
When I was 7, I actually sat down at a real keyboard and started learning things, and like what metal C was, or how to play different chords and stuff. And it was my first love instrumentally besides singing. I wanted to play more than anything. So I started lessons and started working crazy hard, and I played classically and learned everything from Bach to Brahms. And I've been playing for about 9 years now, and I'm absolutely loving getting into other things now aside from classical, like improvisation and branching out from the classical side of things. And then about 2 years ago, my parents 2 years ago, I decided that I wanted to expand and really learn to play the guitar, and so I borrowed one from a friend, and I started teaching myself.
Nice.
That's the way taken. I was crazy. There's nothing like learning new things in music. So eventually, when I got my own guitar, I would stay up till 2 in the morning playing for hours and hours and hours until my fingers bled, learning strumming patterns and chords and how to sing and play at the same time, everything. And I feel gratified knowing that I pursued everything I knew I wanted as a little girl. And
tell me about it.
Both piano and guitar, and how much I adore singing. And I guess with acting, when I was 2 years old, I told my mom that I wanted to be a superstar. And I would tell her all the time, Mom, I want to be a superstar. And I used to watch movies. I think my favorite movie at the time was The Parent Trap, with Lindsay Lohan.
Yes,
I used to memorize all the lines from that and everything verbatim. I would memorize the whole movie and how to do the accents and stuff. And I love always dramatic. I love to to be big and bold, and I would always, just act everything out. And eventually I got into acting classes, and my mom took me to an agent, and I started working with an agent in Atlanta, where I'm from, and then I moved, she was like, I think it's time to move to LA, so they're like, let's just go, try out LA for pilot season. At the time, there was a thing called pilot season.
Okay.
And that's when there's about 99, thousands of pilots are made, but about 99 are picked, and they pick them, they go on TV.
Okay.
For pilot season, and that lasted about 3 months. So we got a 3-month lease in an apartment and stayed there, and I booked an episode on the Bernie Mac show the first week I got out there.
Nice.
So yeah, and it was funny because I sang Fallen for Alicia Keys by Bernie Mac, and it was crazy. He was so excited about my voice, and I was so happy. I'm like, oh my gosh, Bernie Mac thinks I'm a good singer.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was really cool, and I kept booking jobs and acting and auditioning, and eventually a 3-month lease turned into a 6-month lease, and a 6-month lease turned into a year, and we got a house and ended up staying out there. It was crazy because my mom had never, she'd never been anywhere but Georgia. It was where she was born. It was a big move and a big sacrifice and everything, but it was a lot of fun, and I just loved it so much. It was, it was what I loved, and music was always a part of it too. I would always, do music as well. It was, both things, and I'd always play for people on set and sing for people, and it was just, it was kind of mixed, and it was cool because my agency out in California was the sister agency of the agency in Atlanta. So
that's so nice.
So it was perfect, and I was out there for 8 years. I lived there a long time, so most of my life, and I booked my first movie when I was about 7. I want to say, I was 7. I was in The Perfect Man with Hilary Duff and Heather Locklear.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
And then when I was 9, I booked my first lead role, where I played Roxy Hunter on Nickelodeon in this series of movies, Roxy Hunter, which is actually really big in Canada, which is pretty cool.
I know that show, and I remember it being very, very advertised on TV, and and I had never watched it, but the connection is definitely coming back. That is very cool.
I did a few music videos for it, actually, and my friends that are in Canada, because all the movies were shot in Toronto.
Yeah.
So, my friends in Canada, they'll always text me or call me and be like, Roxy Hunter's on right now, and your videos played the other day, because there was 2 music videos I did for the movies.
Yeah.
So it was a great experience.
I remember those music videos. That's very cool.
That's awesome. That makes me so excited. But yeah, I can't. Those movies were a lot of fun to do, and I just kept acting for a long time, and I absolutely loved it. And then there came, a time when I was, recording all kinds of different types of music, and with Roxy, because they figured out I could sing, so they would attach 2 music videos, per movie.
Yeah, yeah.
So they would write the songs, and I would sing the music, and eventually I branched off, and my manager, would set me up with different, we started to pursue that more, and then my manager set me up with different writers and different, people to record with and stuff, and at that point, California is a very hard place to be a songwriter because it's so spread out.
Yeah.
Not really a lot of, it's not, as connected as Nashville where I am now. So after a long time of making decisions and stuff and figuring out who I really, really wanted to be, and, knowing what kind of music I wanted to do my whole life, it was always very evident to me, the kind of music I wanted to play and where my heart was, and, I love to write. And that was just, that was decided after, a while of experimenting around and, playing with different producers who would try to change my style or change who I wanted to be, and it just wasn't who I was. And so eventually I came out to Nashville to write with a few people, and I absolutely fell in love. It was, the craziest place I'd ever been, because, your plumber sings, or the guy at the gas station will play guitar, and everybody plays and sings. It's just a place that's built around music, and to be in a place like that where I'm just so obsessed with music in itself, and I get to see so many talent. You can, write with 4 or 5, 6 different, as many people as you want in one day. Yeah. Getting to, write with all those great writers, it's just an incredible experience, and I feel very lucky to be able to do that on a daily basis living here now. It's a cool place. That's just kind of my story and where I've been and what I've done. So
that is very cool. I'm in awe, because ever since you were so little, there was just this natural connection. And even though you didn't fully understand what it was, like, you just instinctively knew that it had to be a part of your life, and it just carried on all the way through until now. So that's very, very impressive. Very cool.
Yeah.
So thank you. So now our Stonebridge fans kind of know a little bit more about you and where you've come from. So that's awesome. Okay, that's great. All right, let's see what I have written down here. So I don't know how long ago it was. How long have you had your Stonebridge guitar for?
I've had my Stonebridge guitar since August.
Okay, so it's fairly recent.
fairly recent. Yeah.
So how have you been enjoying it so far? I'd love to know about your journey, your musical journey with your Stonebridge, and just kind of describe the experience you've had so far with it.
Oh my gosh, my Stonebridge is by far the most amazing guitar I've ever laid my hands on. I have like an obsession with it. I honestly cannot go a day without playing it or touching the strings, and I miss it when I'm not near it.
Aww. It's
just, you know, the sound, the vibrations, the tone, the quality, everything. It's just, it's beautiful, and I feel so lucky to get to play it every day. It's funny, like when anyone picks up my guitar and plays it, I mean, these people have played every guitar you can imagine, fall in love with my Stonebridge. They're like, I want to take it home. It always stands out like in a room of guitars, or like when I play with other people, it's the resonating guitar above them all. You can always hear it out of any guitar. And I've played, you know, other people's guitars or other guitars, it's not the same. That guitar goes everywhere with me, and I get so excited to show it off to people, and I, you know, get to play it at shows on a weekly basis, and it's exciting. I say, you know, like once a Stonebridger, always a Stonebridger. I say, one of my best friends.
I'm so glad to hear that.
One of my best friends' dads actually has a Stonebridge, and he was the one that, you know, recommended that I, you know, get interested in Stonebridges, and I met, you know, everyone at Stonebridge at NAMM last year, and it was awesome. And we talk about Stonebridges all the time. We're like, yeah, Stonebridge is the best guitars in the world.
Oh, wow. I'm so glad to hear that. That is so awesome. I'm glad you're really, really enjoying it. Another question pertaining to the Stonebridge that I'm curious about is, I would like to know what was the first song that you had written on your Stonebridge. So talk about that, and maybe just describe the song and the experience you had pertaining to the song.
The first song I ever wrote on my Stonebridge it's called You'll Think of Me.
Okay.
I was going through a really tough time with a crush I had on a guy, and he was a lot older than me and wouldn't have seen me that way, and it just wouldn't have worked out, so it kind of broke my heart at the time. And I knew I needed to write a song about it, because it's kind of, you know, writing is how I vent everything out and express myself musically. And it was a very emotional experience to write on my new guitar, but I think it kind of created a first-time bond between good old Elvis and me. By the way, that's his name.
Oh, Elvis, nice.
Yeah, but yeah, that was the first song I wrote. I remember being excited. I'm like, this is going to be the first song I've ever written on my new guitar. I was really happy, but it was a very emotional experience for both of us. So.
Yeah, wow. That's very awesome. Something very personal and dear to your heart. Okay, next question. My questions are all like mixed up differently here.
Okay.
So, okay, this is something I'd really like to know. So not only are you involved in the acting, which has become a huge part of your life, but of course you've been doing so much stuff musically as well. And I was curious to know from your point of view, what the difference is between, or the differences that you see between the music industry and the acting industry, and kind of compare the two. And I'd also love to know what your favorite part of each sort of side is.
Okay. Acting is a lot more of a process than music. You know, for instance, like, I take my guitar with me everywhere, and my voice is with me all the time, so I can always play or sing. But I can't just be in a movie whenever I want to be. Like, it's, you know, you audition and get called back and all sorts of stuff to be able to get a part in a TV show or a movie.
Right.
Acting, you go to auditions every single day on a daily basis, constantly auditioning. And with music, you're constantly writing or gigging. So it's different, you know, different things that you do with each that are, you know, probably different aspects. The industry, they're very similar industries. It's you know, it's all entertainment. So entertainment kind of clouds into one. But there's a lot more similarities than there are differences when it comes to creativity. Like, acting and music take the same amount of creativity when it comes to creating a character or building that person's emotions as it does writing a song or portraying that emotion of a song when performing on stage, you know?
Yeah.
It's a lot alike when you're playing on a stage for a crowd as it is acting out a scene for your audience.
Right, right.
So yeah, my favorite thing about acting is probably creating characters. I just love to be able to turn into a different person, someone whose personality I've created from scratch, you know, with my own creativity for that amount of time. You know, I get to be lost in a scene with somebody else. I become that character, and whether they're emotional or comedic or funny or sad or happy, I kind of get to escape into their world and ask myself, who is this character and what are they all about and how can I bring them alive, you know? And with music, I love everything about music, but by far there's no other feeling like, you know, getting up on stage. I think performing is probably my favorite thing, is getting up on stage in front of so many people and, you know, playing your music that you spent time writing or creating or rehearsing to be able to get perfect for these people. It's just, it's fun and gratifying to be able to get a reaction from a crowd, or to be able to stand up and sing in a mic, or
that does
hear my strings, you know, hear my strings or my piano keys played, you know, through a sound system. It's just, I almost can't describe the feeling of a reaction from a crowd or singing into a mic and just being able to lose yourself in a performance. It's like nothing else.
That's cool. Do you get nervous?
Not really. I mean, there's times, you know, if I go out in front of a big crowd of a lot of important people that, you know, I have to play for, that I'll get nervous. But, you know, it's the same kind of thing with acting. But I've always been a pretty confident person. So I think before I let myself get on stage or anything like that, I'm a perfectionist. So I make sure that I have everything as perfect as I possibly want it.
Yeah.
To be able to get up on stage. But I've always loved to perform and be on a stage, and always, you know, love to be in front of people, and I'm such a people person. So I think, you know, nervousness has never really gotten me to the point to where I, like, have stage fright.
Right. Which would be very hard if you had stage fright.
Right.
Yeah. Another question I had sort of pertaining to your life and the busyness is, what kinds of things do you do to just keep organized and just keep everything in line? I mean, you have concerts, you have recording, you have auditions. What kinds of things do you do to just keep yourself in line and making sure everything's organized?
Let's see. I've always been pretty good at staying organized and keeping myself in line. My mom is very helpful with that. Of course, I'm a teenager, so she's, you know, my guide a lot of times with keeping everything straight.
Yeah.
Of course, my Mac is my best friend, and I'm all about calendars and keeping everything scheduled and organized. So I just make sure that I have everything down and time straight and everything, and it just helps, you know, helps it keep it all in line and you know, straight and organized.
That's good. So you got everything on track, which is nice. Right. Very important. Yeah. Another question I had written down for you, just so I could get a little bit more of a sense of the music that you're listening to recently, I wanted to know what songs on your MP3 player or your iPod are played, like most played right now.
Oh gosh, okay, I'm really, really into Sarah DeRose, and I absolutely love her music. And her latest album, I think it's called Follow Me Down, and her songs Runaway and Annabelle Lee are like my favorites right now.
Is she a country singer?
She's bluegrass.
Oh, okay.
She's bluegrass jazzy. Her style is so interesting. I love it. She's very different, but it's really cool. She plays almost every instrument. She plays, you know, mandolin, banjo, clawhammer, banjo, guitar, everything you can think of.
Wow.
And she plays it. And I love watching. Recently, I watched her videos. She did these sessions, I think, in Scotland with like Alison Krauss and Jerry Douglas and some amazing, amazing, you know, really big people in country music or just bluegrass and music in general. And she's brilliant. She writes all of her songs, and she's just also a huge inspiration for me as well.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, I've listened to her a lot, and a lot of Bon Iver and Florence and the Machine. I'm crazy about their new albums as well, and so I probably listen through both of those every day, at least one.
Nice, nice.
But yeah, I'm homeschooled, so while I do school, I'll probably put, you know, my music, like, I'll put Spotify on or my iTunes and shuffle it. So I listen to a wide variety of everything, but those are probably my favorites right now. So
very nice. Sounds like you have a nice wide range of music taste as well.
That's also, you know, like I said earlier, it's kind of due to my parents kind of raising me around really good music. So I always learned, you know, Led Zeppelin's probably my favorite band of all time if I had to lay it down into one band.
Yeah.
But that's due to my parents constantly surrounding me with that kind of music, and it's good to have a good wide variety of you know, music taste, especially, you know, in the kind of field that I'm in, because it's I like to add a lot of different styles into my music, into when I'm writing and everything. It just creates, you know, something different that people haven't heard before, and it's something interesting. I like to pull together all of my influences and all of my inspirations, and, you know, if I listen to that, you know, Sarah DeRose album, I hear a really cool drum beat, or hear a really cool chord on the mandolin, and be like, that's really cool, I kind of want to add that in somewhere. So, you know, add that into your own creativity, and it makes something really cool. It's fun to listen to a lot of different things, because you can get a lot of different perspectives.
Yeah. That's very good. Yeah, it's also nice to have something for every mood too. You know, whether you're just listening or whether it's something that you want to incorporate into your own music, it's nice to have different musics to sort of go with your mood and go with your life and what's going on. I'm
the kind of person, like, I always said there should be a soundtrack to my life, and I have like certain songs of the day, like,
it's so true.
My alarm to a song. I want to wake up to this song today.
I know. I think that would be really cool. And it just kind of knows how you're feeling, and it kind of goes with what you're doing. That would be really cool. And my final question for you that I have here is, since it's the new year, we're still in January, I was very curious to know if you had taken some time to think about your year, and if you had made any musical New Year's resolutions.
Let's see. Musical prospects for this year, I guess, would be I'm very ready to start touring. I would love to be headlining for some big acts on tour, and me and my duo partner Grant, who I've actually been working with lately, and that's probably my biggest focus in music right now.
Okay.
And we've also added another addition to that as well. His name is Forrest Miller, and he's an amazing, amazing fiddle player, bass player, mandolin. I mean, he plays everything possible, and he sings as well. And he's just great. He's a great dynamic to it as well. We've been all three of them playing together. We write all the time, and we sing all the time. Play shows on a constant basis. So yeah, it's a lot of fun for me. I love it. But we're hoping to release an EP, if not an album, this year.
Okay.
Yes, those are pretty much the first things on the list I hope to accomplish by the end of this year. I feel like it's a big year. I'm excited.
Feeling good about it.
I am.
That's good. That's very good.
Yeah,
I'm really glad that you took the time to answer these questions for me. This is awesome.
So much. It was awesome getting to talk to you and to kind of introduce myself to Stonebridge. I'm very excited.
And we're very excited as well. So thank you very much, Aria, for joining us today. I had a lot of fun, and I really loved hearing what you had to say. And it's also, it's fun to welcome new artists and introduce them to the community, and yeah, just have some fun with them and get to know them. So thank you very much.
Absolutely, thank you. My name's Aria.
My name's Emma.
Thanks so much for watching.
Bye, guys.